Wait, before you skip this video, take a closer look at that simple 5-cent coin in your pocket. Because what looks like loose change today could be one of America's most powerful pieces of hidden history. The Jefferson 5-cent coin, commonly called the nickel, is far more than just 5 cents. It represents wars, economic collapse, metal shortages, secret mint experiments, and generations of everyday Americans who unknowingly carried history in their hands. First introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, this coin was designed by Felix Schlag and featured President Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous home Monticello on the back, symbolizing democracy, independence, and architectural legacy. But what most people don't realize is that behind this small coin lies decades of dramatic change, especially during World War II, when the United States faced a massive nickel shortage, because nickel metal was desperately needed for tanks, armor, and military equipment, forcing the U.S. Mint to secretly change the coin's composition between 1942 and 1945, removing nickel completely and replacing it with a special wartime alloy made of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese, creating what collectors now call war nickels, easily identified by the large mint mark above Monticello, making these coins some of the only 5-cent pieces ever struck with real silver. And today, many of these wartime nickels remain in circulation unnoticed, quietly holding melt value and historical importance, while people spend them like ordinary change. And as years passed, the Jefferson nickel continued evolving through design updates, minting technology improvements, and massive production runs that reflected America's growing population, with billions struck across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Yet hidden among these common coins are rare errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planch, and transitional metal varieties that can turn a 5-cent coin into a $100 or even $1,000 discovery, especially key dates like 1939D, 1950D, Monticello, examples that show complete architectural detail on the steps of Jefferson's home, a feature collectors obsess over because it proves exceptional strike quality. And beyond mint errors, the nickel also tells the story of America's changing economy, inflation, and metal costs, especially after 2004, when the Westward Journey series redesigned the reverse to honor the Lewis and Clark expedition, briefly replacing Monticello with frontier imagery, before returning it in 2006 with a modernized look, showing how even a small coin adapts with national identity. And composition-wise, the standard Jefferson nickel consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a weight of exactly 5 grams and a diameter of 21.21 millimeters. But over decades, subtle variations in planchet thickness, strike pressure, and alloy purity have created collectible differences, invisible to the untrained eye. While international demand for U.S. coinage, metals has also played a role in hoarding cycles, where millions of nickels were removed from circulation during metal price spikes, turning everyday change into stored wealth. And today, professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC certify rare Jefferson nickels at values exceeding several $1,000s when condition, strike quality, and rarity align perfectly, proving that value is not about denomination, but about survival, detail, and history. And what makes this coin even more fascinating is that Thomas Jefferson himself opposed centralized banking and believed in hard assets, making it poetic that his face now appears on a coin that bridges modern currency with historic ideals. And across flea markets, coin rolls, estate sales, and forgotten jars, collectors still hunt for these nickels, because every year new varieties are discovered, proving that even after nearly a century, this 5-cent coin continues revealing secrets. And from wartime silver blends to microscopic mint mistakes, from economic survival to artistic evolution, the Jefferson nickel stands as a miniature timeline of America itself, reminding us that sometimes the smallest money carries the largest stories, and that next time you hold a nickel, you're not just holding 5 cents, you're holding metal shaped by war, design born from democracy and history, quietly waiting to be noticed. And as collectors continue searching through bankrolls and inherited collections, more overlooked Jefferson nickels surface every year, revealing fresh layers of America's monetary story. Because, beyond famous key dates, there exists an entire underground world of transitional errors where meant for other denominations were accidentally struck as nickels, creating ultra-rare wrong metal varieties that auction houses quietly fight over. And then there are lamination errors caused by impurities in wartime, metal sheets that peel away like ancient bark, visually dramatic defects that tell us how rushed production once was during national emergencies, while die cracks and cuds formed as exhausted mint equipment struggled to meet massive demand, leaving raised lines and blobs that now fascinate era collectors worldwide. And through the 1960s coin shortages, America experienced another turning point when the mint ramped up production to unprecedented levels, flooding circulation with Jefferson nickels that still appear today in surprising mint state condition inside forgotten rolls, proving how deeply these coins were embedded in everyday life. And during the 1970s and 1980 South, rising copper and nickel prices sparked widespread hoarding as rumors spread that nickels might be discontinued or melted for profit, pushing millions of coins into private storage where they remain today, quietly aging while their surfaces tone into soft golds, blues, and violets that grading companies now reward with premium valuations. And as technology advanced, laser diagnostics revealed microscopic strike differences between early and late die states, allowing specialists to map production timelines with astonishing accuracy, effectively turning each Jefferson nickel into a forensic artifact of its exact moment in history. And while most people see only Jefferson's profile, advanced collectors study the depth of Monticello's windows, the sharpness of pillar lines, and especially the presence of full steps, a rare condition where all stair lines remain uninterrupted, because that single feature can transform a common-day nickel into a 4-figure treasure. And beyond physical traits lies cultural meaning, as the nickel followed Americans through post-war suburban growth, civil rights expansion, moon landings, oil crises, digital revolutions, and into today's cashless era, serving silently in vending machines, parking meters, and lunch counters, while generations passed it hand to hand, without ever realizing its layered significance. And even modern nickels hold future potential because changes in die preparation, hub technology, and metal sourcing continue, introducing subtle varieties that tomorrow's collectors will classify as major discoveries, reminding us that rarity is often born not in the past, but in overlooked present moments. And internationally, Jefferson nickels have circulated in overseas military bases, tourist economies, and foreign exchange caches, spreading American currency influence far beyond domestic borders, while recovered coins from shipwrecked cargoes and buried hoards demonstrate how 5-cent pieces traveled alongside soldiers, merchants, and migrants, embedding personal stories into industrial metal. And when you combine artistry, metallurgy, politics, economics, and human movement, this single coin becomes a compressed archive of civilization itself, proving that money is never just money, it is memory in metal. And the Jefferson nickel, in particular, stands as one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, surviving redesign debates, inflation, pressure, and shifting public taste, because its simplicity carries authority, its weight carries tradition, and its persistence reflects stability. And as new generations rediscover coin collecting through social media and roll hunting communities, interest in Jefferson nickels is rising again, bringing fresh eyes to old varieties and uncovering forgotten gems hidden in plain sight. And before you leave this video, remember, sometimes the greatest treasures aren't buried underground. They're hiding in your pocket, so don't spend your change too fast. Look closer, research deeper, and If you truly love rare coins, hidden money, and forgotten history, make sure you subscribe to Old Chiller channel right now, because every week we uncover secrets that most people walk past every day. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever found something valuable in your pocket change? Your next discovery might start right here.